Readers and viewers of Embassy Direct, once more, we're back with Former2Former, where I get the opportunity to meet with old friends that have served also in the same territory, in this case, South Africa. And I get the chance to get to talk to them again and see what are they doing at this point. Today, we have the pleasant company of my personal good friend, Beka Dvali, former ambassador of Georgia to South Africa. Beka, how are you, my friend?
How do you do? Good day. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yes, so tell us, what are you right now? Our audience would like to know what's your whereabouts in this moment.
I departed from South Africa after 10 years of being Georgia's ambassador there. I departed from South Africa last year in November. And in several months' time, I was appointed as Georgia's ambassador to the Commonwealth of Australia, with portfolio also including New Zealand and Pacific, whole of Pacific. So currently I am in Canberra, capital of Australia.
That's a big responsibility, but you still remain on the southern hemisphere. While you were ambassador of Georgia, you actually at some point became the dean of the European Union, so European group. So that was also a bit of a responsibility. And also, we remember pretty well your wife, the dear Nino, who was very active in the ITSA, the International Diplomatic Spouse Association, and eventually she became head of it. So please share, what do you miss the most at this point from South Africa?
Thank you very much for this question. Yes, I was Georgia's first ambassador to South Africa, arrived there late in 2012. And obviously from Pretoria, I also was covering whole of Southern Africa. Basically, I was ambassador accredited to 13 countries all in all. Me and my family, obviously, during these 10 years, we had beautiful experiences from professional point of view, from personal point of view. We got a lot of friends in South Africa, still maintain contact with them. And we miss everything, from South Africa. I was relatively new in Pretoria when I attended farewell meeting of one of my fellow ambassadors, colleagues. And I remember very well when he bid farewell to us. He said, mentioned what he would be missing most from South Africa. And I'm also sticking to these things. And I want to recall what he said. And I would also say that I'm missing these things. He said that from South Africa, most of the people who depart miss three W's. And these three W's being wine, weather, and wildlife. So I meet all these things, and obviously people, interactions, and this multicultural society, very interesting country. And me, as well as my wife, my family, partially we stay to be kind of South Africans, after being such a long time in South Africa. And on a personal note also, me and my wife celebrated 20 years of marriage in South Africa, 10 out of these 20 years being in South Africa. So it meant a lot for us and still means a lot.
No, that's good to hear. And obviously now, being in Australia, how would you compare Australia and South Africa? Because if we go to your three W's, pretty much they match. There's a good, nice weather because both are Southern Hemisphere. There are also good wines. I'm not going to debate about which one is the best, but there's still good wines in Australia. And wildlife, yes, there's wildlife, different, but still wildlife. How would you compare both countries?
Yes, absolutely. But I think these three big W's are applicable also to Australia. It is different regions, though, different dynamic. We already had opportunity to explore locally all these three W's and to experience it. And I must also admit that um, I've met quite a number of South Africans here in Australia. Just recently, I was in Western Australia and its administrative capital, city of Perth. And there also I met some South Africans there in Western Australia in Perth. Some of them whom first time I met back in South Africa and in Africa. So it's quite an interesting country, and there are some similarities. Obviously, there are differences, but we enjoy very much, being here also.
Okay. I'm glad. Now, you know that in our jobs, we are is somebody comes always and takes over our job, our post. So, what would you recommend to the new heads of mission in South Africa? What would be your best recommendations for them in general?
For South Africa.
Yes, for South.
Yes, obviously. First of all, my recommendation would be to try and to visit all of the provinces, not only capital and not only Gauteng, but all the provinces, to explore more, to start obviously from Pretoria and visit other provinces, drive wherever it is possible to drive. Myself, I traversed South Africa in every direction, and this is where you get first-hand experience of the country, of the locals, and it always brings very interesting experiences and memories later on. And South Africa is a really very beautiful country from that standpoint. It is a very big nation, diversity of climates, and every province offers you something unique. So this would be my main recommendation. To explore all South Africa, all over it. Yes.
Great. So, last but not least, this year is the 10th anniversary of Embassy Direct. We had the great pleasure to interview you in one of our printed editions back 3-4 years back. I'm sure that you still have a copy of that edition. What would be your message for Embassy Direct in its 10th birthday? How do you see us moving forward?
First of all, I must emphasize how important is it to have interact for a diplomat, for ambassador, to have organization and publication and resource like Embassy Direct. It is absolutely has been very important, significant for me as ambassador, and I know for many of my colleagues. It offers excellent opportunity to share with South African audiences, to share in this case, my Georgian kind of experiences, and to share information about my country, our priorities, to showcase my country. I have done it, and I was privileged to be offered by Embassy Direct to do this kind of outreach to your audiences several times, be it like through publication or through your online resource, both of them very high quality. I actually brought several copies of all the magazines where my kind of I was featured. I brought it back to Georgia, and when I shared it to some of my friends, some of my affiliates, they were amazed actually, for example, by the quality of publication. And I wish one thing to Embassy Direct to continue this type of outreach to diplomatic community, and to be confident that this is very much appreciated. I know that the embassy direct also functions as a through support of members of the network, business community, and I want very much to use this opportunity to extend my words of gratitude to each and every member of this network. It's been fantastic. It's been outstanding, and it not only helps us diplomats to bring our country to South African audiences, but also it helps us to showcase South Africa back home. There have been many cases when I shared some links from your website, for example, to my contacts, interested people in South Africa, and this has been amazing. I want to congratulate you, Embassy Direct, on this 10th anniversary, and wish you many, many more years and decades of successful operation.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. And well, as much as you miss South Africa, you are very missed within the Embassy Direct circle, because if you remember, I always reach to you when I needed help in that side of and you were of great help, and all our team really misses you. So we convey our gratitude and all the best in your new post in Australia. Hopefully we can meet you sometime soon, you and your beautiful family. So all the best, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you very much.